And welcome to another episode of Who Gives a Hoot? Playoff clinched, home playoff game clinched episode.
Woo.
Uh, I, I'm Luke. That's Kyle. Hi, Kyle.
Hello. Sorry
Uh,
about your bad day.
Days are days. Um, we got news. We have actually a fair bit of news to go through.
Yeah.
As mentioned, home playoff game is clinched. We've solidified lowest fourth.
I
Which would
think
lowest third.
it's I mean I guess Charlotte could technically hit us. I mean they could pull level on points with us.
So
But no,
we're
actually we'd have them on wins. We'd have them on wins. So no, lowest third.
lowest third. Potential still to lock up first.
Yes.
Last week we had a clean sweep of goal of the week and save of the week with Joe Gallardo's beauty and Rashid Nuhu's also beauty.
One of many Shido saves that could have been up there.
Shido saved our collective asses, which he's always been good at. Always been good at. In non-player news, Union Omaha becomes the. We're 99% sure on this one. The first team in the league with a nationally famous owner in the ownership group. Welcoming Nick Hexum of 311 fame.
Omaha local. Yeah.
Omaha local. Apparently a huge soccer fan, and great of Gary to get another locally sourced owner on the roster. Brings a lot of publicity locally to the team, but also just grows the brand across the board.
Mm-hmm.
When you've got a multi-platinum artist on your ownership group, not a bad look. Especially when we're playing well and it's not just a publicity stunt.
Very true, though. I was gonna maybe mention this later, but I did kind of want to just mention it now. Speaking of, Richmond had 6,000 fans at their game this last weekend.
So,
and Richmond's a terrible team right now. That's an incredible accomplishment.
Are they statistically eliminated yet?
Oh yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
So that's incredible.
Madison had sold out games in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So that's massive in its own right. Two sold out games with two not playoff locked teams.
Yeah.
Richmond being eliminated already, but that league is seeing some solid gains. We've mentioned some of the expansion sides coming in past episodes. Next year, for sure, getting Spokane. We're losing NCFC. Big whoop. Spokane will be exciting. Their stadium, there have been some photos released on what their stadium, which is now completed, looks like.
Oh yeah,
it's gorgeous.
It'd be fun to take a trip up there too. It's gonna be probably a little bit of a journey.
Yeah, so. that is accurate. And last bit of news is we have Union Omaha goal of the week contender with Luis Gilles tying goal against NCFC to keep us in the running for first and lock us into that third place and guaranteed finish. Mm-hmm. So worth noting here. we are one of two teams with a game in hand still.
Yes.
Us and Greenville.
hmm
Going in.
Greenville also have the easiest schedule left.
Oh no.
I
Greenville.
would not be surprised if they don't make playoffs. It is an embarrassment to them. Like you have to make playoffs with who you have left to play.
Would we be upset with a Greenville choke?
Oh no, it'd be incredible, but it'd be wild.
So we've got 3 games left this season, whereas most teams other than Greenville have 2. That leads us into a spot where we can jump ahead by 2 points over NCFC with a
first
Wednesday.
Yeah.
The first.
Yeah.
And then theoretically could just even squeak by with 2 draws after that.
I mean, yeah, potentially. We'd have to see exactly what happens, but
yeah, we'd have to see how everybody else boils down. But we don't want draws; we want wins. We've been pretty decent with those. This broke our win streak.
This was the end of our win streak, end of our 10-game win streak,
but not our unbeaten streak.
Nope, not that. Though it is the first time we've had a draw since the end of June.
Yes. We did have a rough stretch there in July, early July.
Well, it was a mix. There was like wins and losses, and then it was just wins. So.
Well, no, he got injured early July, didn't he?
No, he got injured during the win streak.
Was it the first game of the win streak?
It was early on in the win streak.
Okay. So we got the burden of the win streak out of the way with that draw,
which is honestly good. I felt like we needed to, and then having it be a draw rather than a loss, great.
Yeah, definitely in favor of the draw rather than loss for that. Let's talk a little bit about the NCFC game. As always, Rich has pulled through in a way that no other writer in USL League One does consistently, and gave us a beautiful rundown available at WGAHmedia.com. So go on there and read that for some real news, while we just talk. We're good at talking.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't beat them in goal difference, or sorry, goals allowed. XG. What am I saying? XG, expected goals. There we go. We didn't actually beat them in expected goals, even though they had some big chances early on, but then we had kind of more consistent chances throughout the game. So, is what it is, but
we did what we've been doing, and we started the game off flat.
Yeah.
Solid lineup, in my opinion. Worth noting another streak that was broken.
Yeah, there was one glaring exception in the lineup. One big hole.
I'll let you talk about this one because it's close to your heart.
It is. It is. So Connor Doyle has played every game that he could play for us, regular season, postseason, Open Cup, since he joined the team, which is 96 total games. And that streak ended. So
if Connor came back Wednesday, he would have a chance to finish out his Centurion this season.
He could potentially still hit 100 this season, even if he missed Wednesday and came back Saturday and we made it to the final. Like there's some ways that it could happen, but otherwise it might not. However, looking back, and League One's data is so hard to find that I can't guarantee that it's the longest streak, but I have a feeling it's close to the longest streak, especially if you include across teams, because he also played all of the games for Chat in their 2020 season,
Yeah.
which puts them at 104 straight League One games.
I mean, has there been anybody other than Connor Doyle who's been in the league consistently since 2020 and had the chance to play?
I mean, there's been some people. I just don't know how many total appearances they had. And I was looking earlier today, and I could not find like a list of at all of like most appearances. And other than like going back and trying to look through individual players' appearances on every team they played for, I would have no way of finding that because at least from what I can see, there isn't a publicly available one. Because like Jake Keegan has played a lot, but I don't know if he's played every game. You've had Akira, who I know has had games off, but otherwise has a bunch of appearances. So I don't know if there's anyone that's going to hit straight appearances.
Herzog right? Must have been close.
He might have been. I don't know. I don't remember if he played every single game in that stretch either.
He definitely got injured earlier this season. Earlier than what has to have been a Connor injury because he wasn't even
on the bench. Yeah.
Don't know if there was one. Don't know if he just decided to sneak off and get married again. Who knows? But
yeah,
Connor didn't even feature on the bench for us. I'm going to let the rest of League One, assuming somebody else outside of Union Omaha fans listens to this, tell us if there's anybody with a similar record or a bigger record.
Yeah, because
I can't think of anybody.
It's for us 89 straight games, league and postseason, which would be 86 if you don't include the postseason, and then overall 104, 101 if you don't include postseason. Because Chat only played 15 games in 2020, not 16, which I had to remember that was the case because they had a game that was postponed at the end of the year that they only would have replayed if it would have mattered for points, but it didn't. So, yeah.
They did not make the final. But yep, we all know that one. We're not going to harp on that again.
Yeah.
Much as I'd like to.
So yeah, if anyone else has anything, I don't know. Greenville's had a lot of players come through too that have played for a long time. So I don't know. Maybe they have someone, but yeah, if anyone else knows of anyone that's even close, I'd love to know.
Yeah, no. Please hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Let us know if we're failing miserably in remembering somebody else that is, and as you mentioned, we'll probably be like, oh shit. Let's talk a little bit about the lineup that we had. Our defense has been what we've been running standard. Shaft got neutralized in this game. Like Dion was a bright spot on the field. He was fast. He was everywhere needed to be. But I felt like NCFC knew how dangerous Shaft could be and just shut him down.
I mean, it's hard to remember because it was a little bit ago now, but I think the earlier game this past month against NCFC, didn't Shaft cause a lot of problems for them?
That's what I'm remembering. Which so it would make sense for them to shut him down.
Mm-hmm.
But like that just opened up Dion, and Dion was making some great runs the entirety of the game. We had, if FotMob is to be believed, and I don't think it is, Dolabella playing center attacking mid.
I mean, we've seen that before, though.
Yeah, but I think he was playing more of a 6.
Well, then who? Oh, okay. So then who is the other 6 that they listed alongside JD? Interesting.
So
interesting.
There was a lot of switching back and forth, but I feel like Pedro, even though he's wearing the 9, features as 6 more frequently.
That's true. He's done that before, where he's played back as the 6 and Luis has played up as the 10. So that wouldn't surprise me if that was the actual case. Yeah.
But we had consistent pressure through most of the game. You weren't at the watch party, but
No.
one of the things I noticed, and I may be entirely off base here, did NCFC not have any ball kids?
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Because the ref was, for the most part, very fair. I felt like there were more calls than were necessary throughout for both sides, led to breakage of play. But the restarts off of throw-ins seemed to be lagging because the guys were having to run and get the ball, and there was no one there to pass it to them. They were put, like, balls on pedestals rather than somebody handing them a ball.
I'm trying to remember what it was like when I went there last year.
Remember them having ball kids in previous games, and this one didn't seem particularly well attended.
Maybe it's because it was a weird Friday night one. It's not their normal, like, either Wednesday or Saturday game. It's on a weird day.
It's enough on a Friday that I feel like that should have been.
Yeah, I don't know.
Been decently available for kids.
I mean, I will say this too, just in general, like, it doesn't seem. I mean, maybe it's different this season since they're doing well, but at least last season, it wasn't a really well attended event in general.
Yeah.
And like part of it is that stadium is big, right? That's the stadium their NWSL team plays at. It's a decent sized stadium. It's like 10K. Like, if you're only filling it with 2,000, it does feel a bit empty.
Yeah.
Especially since all the bleachers are essentially on I guess 3 sides, both of the ends and then one side. But the side where the players are on, there's nothing. Essentially. So yeah, I don't know.
The one thing that stood out to me on the crowd was there was a decent Union Omaha contingent behind one of the goals. There were at least 4 or 5 people wearing Volt with Oak City.
It might have been Brito's family.
Yeah, very.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But definitely noticeable in a sea of kind of vague blue.
Blue, red, silver, grayish. Yeah.
Vague Americana.
Yeah. Honestly.
I feel like it affected our play because we've been very good at quick throw-ins, keeping the momentum going. And while I didn't see any there, I've not been able to verify individually. So again, if you notice this, please reach out, let us know, correct me if there were ball kids there. If there weren't, give my ego a little boost that I noticed something during a good game. But that seemed to slow us down because Shaft has been very good about taking quick throw-ins. Dion's been very good about taking quick throw-ins. And it felt like there was more movement off the field to get the ball that was allowing NCFC to reset. And that's not anything on NCFC. Like, if you can't find ball kids, you can't find ball kids. It's not saying that they were intentionally trying to slow the pace of the game down, but it is something that seemed to be working against us, and not necessarily for them, because I've noticed it more for our players. And if the same was happening for theirs, I wasn't paying attention because I was trying to focus on our resets. But that continual issue in League One is the flow of play, whether it's reffing, in this case, having to run 10 yards for a ball, run back to space, and then reset. But after was it even a good goal by Mensagen?
I don't know. Like,
Like, goal. Early enough in the first half. Thought Mod list him as player of the match.
it's always a home player.
Always a home.
I guess maybe not on FOTMOP, but on the broadcast always is.
Yeah. But we answered that 44th minute with Luis.
It was in the 40s because I marked it down on my chart, but yeah.
Yeah. So first half was the goal heavy. And we had that stupid post getting in the way of Steven.
Yeah.
Way post. Like,
just move the goal slightly.
Steven had a wonderful chance off the post that kind of bounced around through the back line, and we had nobody to follow it up. Nobody was making that final run in to make sure that went in. And no fault of Steven. He, like, that should in almost any world have gone in. I don't know if it was the pitch or what, but it looked like it took a little bit of spin and just bounced at the perfect angle to not go in there, because it caught the inside of the post, but just the outside of the inside of the post. And just came right back out, and they were able to clear. But should definitely have been us squeaking a win out of there. But not upset with the draw.
No, I mean, as long as it wasn't a loss, that's really what I was going in there.
What we really wanted was Greenville to win, and they
let
it down again.
Greenville.
Like, you had one job.
I mean, honestly, the results this weekend did not super go in our favor of an easy end to the season.
No, because our next game is against Charlotte at home. It's the last
and this for it's also our game in hand.
Regular season. It is our game in hand. Charlotte is
clear. Yeah, Charlotte did just make playoffs.
Had a mixed form.
Mm-hmm.
They're loss, win, draw, win, draw. So they're not in the best form. I think they've had some injuries. You know, they've got no real home crowd support. Is what it is.
Yeah.
But not going to be an easy fight for Union Omaha. Dane Kelly is back and fit. They look strong. They look strong going into this game, assuming no injuries were picked up. And it being a relatively quick turnaround for Union Omaha before they jump back on the road.
It is interesting. It is Charlotte's first time coming here this year. We played them twice there, where we drew 0-0 somehow in that game when it should have been like 4-2 us. And then they beat the crap out of us the other game. So, like, they haven't come here yet though. So we'll see.
Oh, and they've got a pretty new roster this year for League One. They've got some guys who played at Werner Park. Doesn't always having played at Werner Park doesn't always mean that it's better or not when you're visiting. But this is the end of season, and it's been surprisingly good for growing season after baseball's finished. So, assuming the sod was laid down immediately after baseball, should have some roots growing. It should be some good pitch out there.
Yeah, let's hope.
I expect this to be, and it has looked flatter. You haven't seen the bumps that you've seen in previous seasons, even at the beginning of this season. Huge credit to the grounds crew at Werner Park. Sounds like they have a new sod provider too, which has been helping out. But it feels like we've had a better pitch, and just seeing it being able to get some growth in there. Now we're sitting on 90 degrees the past 3 days, some rain tomorrow, and then
cooler, like
cooler
70s, I think.
But
that's better.
No frost.
Yeah.
So we're in a good spot for the pitch conditions, which I think will benefit our guys well. They're finally feeling comfortable playing in Werner Park. It's fan appreciation night, Rashid Nuhu bobblehead night,
yeah.
And Markdown Mitch is doing $8 mystery teas.
I did see that.
So a lot of reasons to get out there for that game, above the fact that Union Omaha could move into first with a win.
Yep.
Even with a draw, we move into tied for first.
Yeah, they'd have us on wins and goal difference. So
yeah.
We would still need to pick up something eventually, but ideally win.
Ideally a win.
Especially considering who our last 2 games are against. At Tormenta and at Madison. And if you look at the table right now, and so it'll be the same come this weekend because they don't play midweek. Madison is in 6th on 43 points. Tormenta is in 7th on 41 points.
So let's hope Madison loses this weekend and Tormenta wins.
No, because we play Tormenta this weekend.
No, yeah, I don't want Tormenta to win. So screw Tormenta.
That's where the complication comes in, because Madison's other game is, I believe. Sorry.
We're going to give up a goal against Tormenta, and I want to see a happy Toby.
But Madison's other game, I believe they're playing NoCo this weekend.
We want them
right? I don't know.
What? I don't like this. This is a weird universe.
I almost think we kind of want them to win so that when we go and play them, they won't care about making playoffs because they would have made playoffs if they win this weekend.
Are you going to that game?
I'm not. I have some other stuff in town here, but I know a number of people are.
I will be up there for Madison. I want the last day of the season, us just fucking creaming them, because the way they've been,
especially if it gets us first.
Right.
If us beating the crap out of them ends with us in first, that'd be great.
Hold on. Let's what time is the Wisconsin Nebraska game?
That I don't remember. Because I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention to Nebraska football this year, and I think I've been better off.
Usual. They haven't announced the time yet.
Oh, they might flex it depending on stuff.
Or
I mean, Nebraska's not good though. Come on.
No, I guess that's saying November 18th. So did they change? Oh, it's Iowa. That's
no, it's Wisconsin, Iowa. That's what it is.
That's at 3 p.m. Can we get a bunch of Iowa fans? They're already wearing the yellow. Step up and cheer for Omaha.
You might get some, honestly.
Like, it's a great drinking culture. It's loud. It's fun. Just show up.
That's
marketing that needs to happen for the Union Omaha away section.
I think it's a 6 o'clock game too. Yeah. So I mean, you might get the end of that game. I don't know. You might have to try and have someone stay back. But yeah.
But it's gonna Tormenta's our make or break. And
yeah. Because it's like we were just talking about, it's their make or break as well. Because if they want to try and get in here, they need to win. Or at the very least, they need to take points. But realistically, they need to win.
Weekend,
huh?
CFC is up against Lexington, and Lexington's already eliminated.
Who is? Sorry,
Lexington.
No, but who are they playing?
Lexington versus NCFC.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then they play One Knox the last week, I believe. But One Knox is going to be eliminated by then, I'm pretty sure. So,
what are you talking about? One Knox is going to finish this strong. They're going to knock out Madison and Tormenta.
And then, I mean, Greenville's at 43 points right now, but Greenville ends, like I was saying, with Fuego, Fuego, Chattanooga, and Lexington. 3 of the worst teams in the league. They could pass Charlotte if they do it right.
Fuego has won 5 games and lost 20.
Which is a record, I believe. I think they were talking about it in the playoff thing for the week, that sets the League One record for most games lost in a season. And they have a couple games left.
Fuego has won the wooden spoon for sure.
Yes. After losing to Chat, they did. Yeah.
Even 2 games. Richmond can't fall below that. No. Richmond has only won 6, which I think is Richmond's worst record in League One.
I think so. They also, it mentioned they are the furthest drop for they call it the Players' Shield, which I guess is what they call winning the league in the regular season. But furthest drop from a first place team in the regular season.
Yeah. Chattanooga beat us in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
Go lose the final.
Mm-hmm. Have not been. They've been good recently. I think they've won their last 2 games after we beat them.
Yeah.
Or no, I guess maybe 1.
Are they on their 4th coach of the season? Them and Fuego.
It's a bit. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah. Lexington as a newcomer, understand, like, they're teams that have had better roster builds over time. They came in, they're very youth heavy.
They're very local. They had an I think it was like an 18 or 19-year-old local kid score against Madison for the equalizer this past weekend. So I
see them doing very well next season.
I see them as a NOCO.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, really well. A NOCO NCFC. So like NOCO in that they do well next season, but NCFC in that they're developing
bringing local kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
One Knox had some promise.
They did. I mean, they're still in it.
They are still technically in it. Madison needs to get 0 more points, so they need to win both of their games, and I think. And then they also need to get better goal difference, but they should if they win both their games.
Is it goal difference first, or is it
wins
first?
Well, wins is first.
Is it wins goal difference or wins ties goal difference?
I think it's wins goal difference.
Because I'm trying to remember, like, decision day back in 2020. It was a weird. It wasn't standard. Like yellow card in before goal difference, if I recall, or something like that.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's wins then goal difference.
USL League One office, do better. Tell us what the tiebreakers are. Also, tell us what the yellow card.
Oh, here it is. Yeah. Breaking of ties. Sorry, I had to scroll down. But yes, no, they do need to tell us the yellow card rules. Those are super confusing, and they haven't clarified them since 2019. Total wins in league games, goal difference in league games, goals scored in league games. That's the order of the first three.
Okay.
So wins, goal difference, goals scored.
All right. You score a whole bunch of goals.
Yeah. Potentially. Yeah.
Drew Madison.
I mean, Madison is not in a good spot right now. Like, especially their easiest game that they had left was Lexington at home, and they drew it.
So, my biggest worry, we're kind of skipping over Charlotte. I think Charlotte.
Yeah, I know.
We'll get to what we think there, but the thing that worries me about Tormenta.
Yeah.
This is their spot.
Exactly.
It's an anomaly. Like, they're hot end of the season. They're traditionally hot the end of the season.
Yep.
And we're playing them second to last game of the regular season.
They're on a 3-win streak right now.
Like, this is, it worries me.
It does. No, totally.
Right.
I'm right there with you.
Let's jump back to the present. Charlotte. What do we see lineup changes?
Well, if we don't have Connor, I'm curious if we end up seeing a Giovanni or if we stick with the Dolabella kind of in that role or someone else maybe even.
Well, Giovanni has kind of been favored in that forward spot by Dom.
That's true as well, yeah.
And I don't hate it up there. Him coming on as a subbing option.
Yeah.
My biggest question is, do we see Luka return?
That is an interesting question. I think we see Luka return one of the games this week. I don't know if it's Wednesday or if it's Saturday, but I think it's one of the games this week we see him back.
I think we see him start Wednesday because if there's an issue, it's immediate rehab. And then there's a chance. That's
fair.
where my brain goes to. But
mm-hmm.
We won't know Dom's mind until October 11th when there's the final team talk of the season.
Because the other thing is, we've seen Noe, our other person who's been injured, kind of coming back in, getting sub appearances.
Yeah.
Do we see him start?
Like to. With 3 games left, if he starts, he still could be in the running for Golden Boot if we really knock it out of the park.
I don't think so. I don't think that's true.
I mean, what's Amon
on? Ridiculous. He's on 20.
Yeah, no, he's got 9.
I don't know. Never mind. Sorry. I had to update. He's on 22 because he scored 2 goals this past weekend.
No, he's on 9. He's got 3 goals or 3 games left.
He's currently at half. I trust in Noe. I would trust him to get a few goals here. I don't trust him to get 11 goals.
That's you being the defeatist. You're probably going to get tomorrow.
I'm so sorry.
1-1 draw. I
am so sorry.
So I guess I kind of, other than Luka, I don't think we see a change in defense. I could see him on for Lexi.
Oh no, I don't see that. I think you do what Dom was doing when he was healthy, and you put him and Lexi in the middle. You put Marco on the left. You put Akoff or Shaft on the right, and then you throw the other one in at a certain point in the game because you want to rotate them with Tormenta on the weekend. I think.
Fair. Even starting. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. Just kind of is right now. It's especially with a lone 9, because that's what we've been playing, a lone 9. He's been fitting that really well. So I would guess.
Steven needs to not track back and play defense. He's not fast enough to get back up there.
I mean, as long as other people fill the gaps, right? Isn't it fine?
Like, I feel like that's probably the first time I've said this over the course of 4 years on this pod, is the striker needs to not play defense, but Steven needs to not play defense. He's not contributing.
I think he's contributing to defense, but then it's hard for him to contribute in any counter that springs from that defense.
I mean, unless we're getting a hover round for him, he's not getting back up there. And that's not an age thing. That boy is not built for speed.
It's just like me. I get that.
Yep. So it doesn't sound like either you or I are really figuring out a whole lot of changes for Wednesday.
No, the only question is maybe Luka, maybe Noe.
Yeah.
And then kind of see how that shuffles up everyone else.
Score prediction?
I'm thinking 2-1. We keep letting in a goal at least, so I'm guessing that's going to happen yet again. But hopefully we have 2 in us to be able to get the final home win in the regular season.
That's such a defeatist attitude. 7-1.
God. Noe with 6?
Noe. Noe. He's got that golden boot. Come on, Dom. If you aren't listening to us now, when do you listen to us? Start Noe. He's getting 7.
Oh, it'd be incredible. It would be incredible.
I've seen Noe. Noe does amazing things. I think Noe has 7 in him. He's been pent up for all this injury time.
I mean, yeah.
All right. So, as mentioned, bobblehead night, fan appreciation night, mark down Mitch's dumpster bin T-shirt sale. They're probably not dumpster T-shirts, but maybe they are. They haven't really specified. They're mystery T-shirts. So you could be getting Storm Chasers T-shirts.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah. It's a mystery.
They wouldn't do that. I would hope not.
Wouldn't they? Wouldn't they?
I don't know.
As mentioned, there's a game also this Saturday.
That is away.
But there will be watch parties at very least. Benson will be St. Andrews, and Parliament is doing. Hello, Nika. Parliament will be doing theirs at Cross Drain, Millwork. So
yep.
Get out to one of those.
I believe it's 6:30.
Yeah. That sounds. Yep, 6:30 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah. Yeah.
As is.
Oh yeah, as is this Wednesday game. That's a thing to note. This Wednesday's game is 6:30, not 7.
Yeah, seeing that.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Sun setting a little bit earlier.
Sunsetting earlier. Yeah.
Normally temperatures would be called into question. Not a bad idea, but that means gates will open at 5:30. First 1,000 people will be given a Rashid Nuhu bobblehead. So 5:30 to get your Rashid Nuhu bobblehead. If you get one and I don't, meet me in the parking lot. We'll come to a deal. Team talk at Dundee Dell on October 11th. So 1 game left in the regular season. chance that we're still fighting for first. As we mentioned, we'll at very least be on third. But great time to get out there, talk to Peter Marlett Jr., the general manager of Union Omaha, and Dominic Casciato, the head coach of Union Omaha. So we're going full circle on the team talks because that was the first billing of the team talks this year at Dundee Dell. They've been a great time. We've been trying to stream all of them live on our Instagram channel. If you don't subscribe to that, you should. You can ask questions. We'll try and ask them as time permits. And if not, you can always find them after the fact. So follow us on Instagram. Keep reading Rich's stuff on the blog. Kyle's eventually going to get us a data dive.
Some point here.
It may be
at least
data dive.
It may be a postseason one, but yeah, there'll be something at some point.
Yeah.
I partially wasn't doing one to try. I was worried about jinxing the win streak after it started. It's like, well, the streak's technically over. We'll see. It's pretty busy right now, but we'll see.
Yeah. But all right. I am being sat on by a dog that apparently have not been giving enough attention to. So I got one question for you, Kyle. Who gives a hoot?
We do.